Hopefully you enjoyed part one of the exploration of computing through 1982 magazines. This second half, I'll concentrate more on the magazine that was the focus for the show. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the actual film as well. You may have spotted me and the voice in the background if you know me well enough. In this one I'm chatting away to Tony and someone about piracy of software in Italy. I've got a Commodore 64 pirate copy of Quill somewhere, which we have to pull out and have a look at sometime. And of course, there are about this one's around 20 minutes, and about 1 hour 3. I'm busy taking one of his Sanyo apart to have a little look of it just before the film's made, so I have to get out of the way. Again, thoroughly recommend you have a look at that, but hopefully this time we'll have a run through a gallery of some of the photographs I took on the day, looking at some of the more unusual machines that haven't turned up in the magazines, and look at the magazine itself, and just get a bit more of a flavour of the actual exhibition. Let's enjoy through, first of all, the magazine, the cover of which on the second day Tony turned the table where Chronosoft had been selling their tapes on the Saturday into a reconstruction with the flags and everything of the cover of the magazine, featuring these mixer machines, and it's just really clever. So let's take a look at the magazine itself. So the final one is the October 1982, which would have come out in September. So it's got these new machines on it with excellent display from Tony at the reconstructing the cover. So we'll take a little look at the interleaved with this magazine, that display and the machines on it. Spectrum Assembler, Hitchhiker's Guide interview. So, the Dragon being advertised, lovely. It's already looking less green.
Isn't it?
Wow.
Throwing up some gibberish just because we're stealing the original memory.
Yeah.
Obviously you wouldn't normally have the second screen switched on. Just got to remember the controls. The borders. Oh, I wished I could have done this back in the day.
Yeah, you felt like you had a Spectrum.
Yeah, well, in fact, that's what we're going for here. 1 second. No. Type in F2, 4, and the PS to resistance. It's a Spectrum.
Yeah. £199.50. They went on stand 205 at the Personal Computer Show. Got quite a mix of bits and pieces in here. ZX81 still quite front and centre. Software for all. ZX Spectrum Disassembler, the Atari still being advertised. Obviously the VIC-20 colour computer, the Atari Dragon 32 now appearing quite a lot. It's the usual range of machines, Genies, Bug Bite, Aspect Assembler, that's a new one. Is that for the Spectrum? Never had that. Vic, Chess, the Jupiter Ace, of course. Well, guess what? There was a Jupiter Ace there. It was a spin-off, wasn't it? It was Altos, so went off to do this after they'd done the Spectrum. The Ace and its Tynemouth modern equivalent are discussed at 1:13 in the movie, so I would definitely take a look at that if I was you. Quite an expensive machine these days, so I suppose. The Macs, the Lynx. Was there Lynx there? We can have a little look through the footage. The Oric. Yeah, we had some Orics there. ZX conversion. That's quite an interesting little thing about what would you do about loading your old Spectrum, Sinclair Spectrum programs, and could you use your 16K RAM pack on a 16K Spectrum? Well, you could with those. Dragons again, Milton Keynes Club helping to build things for disabled. Nice double page advert, so well designed you'll even understand this ad. Okay, and then of course the cover. So we'll take a look at these groups as a couple of groups. We got the three Sanyos, the PHC 10, the 20 and the 25 first. So let's take a look at the Sanyos and the review of them, which covers each of them actually. So with a Corner Vic 20 advert in the middle, and we'll take a quick look at their conclusions, shall we? All the Sanyo machines are well packaged to have comfortable keyboards. At the bottom of the range, the PHC-10 is little more than a training machine, limited way into basic and lack of a screen display facility. It's got that little display. This 20 is again limited, using specs new machines to offer more than 3K of user RAM into basic and black and white for £100, so they didn't see that was. But the PHC-25 offers a good keyboard, 14K user RAM, high resolution colour and user-defined keys for £150. So if Sanyo make the PHC range available in the high street, the 25 could be a winner. The British micro industry may be forced to do something about reliability and long delivery times. Looking at you, Sinclair. The MPF2 review, and again the conclusions were offers excellent value around £200. The fact it's compatible with the Apple II means an enormous amount of software is already available for it. It's the only £200 microcomputer with true high-resolution colour graphics and offers a basic which until now is to be found only on machines as expensive as the Apple II or the BBC Micro. The excellent option of having either single key entry or normal entry of keywords should mean the MPF2 satisfies everyone. I did like these overlays as well for getting the keyword like that. Make an excellent training machine, especially with good built-in monitor. Yeah, they mean not display monitor, they mean the ability to do the debugging of the assembly language like on the Apple. Clearly anyone who has been attracted by the Apple's facilities but not by its price will seriously consider this micro as an inexpensive alternative. Great, so Stone Chip, and of course we're on to the Commodore 64. There we go, the VIC-64. The addition of sprite graphics, high resolution mode and very effective sound generator, the VIC specification makes the 64 a very different, far more powerful and versatile machine. Like the VIC-64 will profit from a large range of cartridge-based software, as much of it is for business applications as for games. Take advantage of much of the software and accessories for the PET and the VIC, while cartridges for the Max, also known as the VIC-10, are compatible with the 64. Didn't know that. The 64 is let down by a rather limited basic, but the forthcoming Simon's basic should make it good. This failing, although it will up the price by at least £50. In respect to its other features, the 64 is an excellent machine, which can be highly recommended. And of course the Color Genie, made in Hong Kong. Conclusions. The implementation of BASIC and the music facilities Color Genie is powerful as any to be found in a price range. Colour is a bit of a disappointment, but no worse than many competing machines. The resolution is not as high as it might be. A fine but unremarkable machine. Great. So Kempston still advertising their I/O port and click keyboard. Survey of BBC software. Not so impressed with those, if I remember the article. Interview with Douglas Adams on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Campbell Systems advert. Dragon again, another dragon. So pushing the dragon, aren't they? Pinball Wizardry. ZX81 game. In assembler. Atom Forth. Pascal. ZX word processing. ZX81 Wordy. So it can be adapted for the Spectrum is what they're thinking. Spectrum processor, here we are, short word processing program. Through the VIC Catacombs. Basic dictionary. The MPF2 being advertised there, £235. So, the Maplin keyboard for the ZX81, which is the one I had. Graphics and texts, control keys, BBC Micro, control key alternatives for VDU commands, BBC, JRS software, Spectrum assembler, handy, system variables on the ZX81, Micro Spectrum use and learn, bridge software, Scramble from Microgen, Picking a Micro, project Picking a Micro. Buying the right machine in the first place, the most difficult part of computing, to offer some advice. Choosing peripherals, development. Simple 1K ZX81 Asteroids. 3D Monster Maze, getting a bit of a larger advert now. And for the ZX81 and Spectrum. Excellent. Arctic Computing, and the names of the adventures are now given. Planet of Death, Inca Curse, Ship of Doom, and ZX4th. Football Manager with a good half-page ad. Still no photo though of Kevin Toms. You must have done that later. Software File. I actually had something published in Software File. Can't remember which issue it was in though. What this one is in now. I'll have to look it up. I'll stick something in the video where it was. Pattern memory, code storage. A lot of ZX81 stuff. Something for the Atari. Column scroll. Lovely set of full Mematech. Competition. Dragon again, front and centre. The Sakosha, which we had, of course. Ascom. Nice case. Sharps, Texas. Spectrum Workstation, just a plastic box that was, I think. The print and plotter, had one of those, they're very useful. The Commodore 64, 299, the Fuller case, and, well, hey, Gilsoft, 30 Hawthorne Road, Spectrum software, 3D Maze Gold, Life, Munchman, Bear Island, Mongoose, ZX Cecil, and the amplifier. Well, I can tell you Munchman didn't make it past this advert because we had a letter off of Atari, cease and desist. But it has been recovered and featured in one of the Crash annuals, so you can still play that very poor quality version of Munchman. Quite a lot of amplifiers and sound add-ons, keyboards, Llamasoft there, Gemini Marketing, DK-Tronics with their nice big keyboard advert now. Yeah, they were great keyboards. We sold loads of those back in the day. Didn't see anyone with a DK-Tronics keyboard there. And the Spectrum now stitched in with its leaflet. Lovely. Full-page colour advert. Space Intruders, Quicksilver, gone up quite a bit in their advertising. So Bug Bite, I love those colour advert colours, they're lovely. More about the games than the tools though, I think. TI-99 4A still thing, Acorn Soft, starting to get underway there. Silversoft, again bigger adverts by now. Northern Computer Fair. Image transfer to ZX Spectrum. It's interesting. I wonder how that works. Digital tracer. I wonder if this is one of the ones where the position of the thing is recorded. There was one of those. The Apple used a bit of string that went back and forth, I think. So interesting. Might be worth looking into. Machine code, printer. That is got to be the Alpha Tronic, whatever they were called, started putting out specifically for the ZX interface. Oh, they were good little printers they were. And of course, Monolith still advertising this ZX81 recorder. It had a good run that, because I'd already bought it by February, so it must have been all through that year being advertised. So shame I can't find mine. Big ears for the ZX81, is it? Computer speech input for any computer. William Stewart Systems. Loads of stuff you'd really want to go and play with now, isn't it? ZX81 Adventure Specialist, Carnell Software, Wumpus Adventure, Movie Mogul. ZX4th, Quasar, Anirog, Softdeck. There we go. So, and who's on the back page? Spectrum and Dragon Software. ZX81, Control Technology. Okay. So there we go. Hopefully you've enjoyed that spin through the magazines and seeing a little bit about what the show was all about in the centre, and some little anecdotes from my diary and the books. I took loads of other footage, quite a bit of chatting about the positron and having a look inside. This machine is a fascinating 609 multi-user machine with memory management unit giving each people memory, and this front keyboard area is a terminal. So well worth a look at that part of the film if you're interested. It's another interesting one, the Micro B. I haven't got a shot of it except in the video of the front of it, but cracking machine I wasn't aware of, obviously very big in Australia. The digital Decra, Digital Rainbow 100, again, some machines you don't see very often. Obviously the Sanyo, we've made a video on that one. It was nice to see the original monitor running. It's just playing Zork. So something I'll have to get a copy of for mine, won't I? Pixel magazine were there, Pixelatic magazine were there on the Saturday. What a lovely quality magazine. I wish I'd gone back and got one now. This was brilliant. This is the an Hitachi. It's one of the first machines in Japan, apparently, according to Mr. Blanchard. It was there because its later, almost identical machine was there representing the 1982 launch, but fascinating insight into those Japanese machines again. And you could just see alongside it, who was also there on the Saturday, was 652 Nerds. Breadboard machine. It was displaying pictures of a positron, actually. But amazingly, it did work. Apparently, when it got there, I was expecting to be juggled to pieces. But well worth looking at if you haven't seen it. This was amazing as well, covered in the video quite extensively, but it's basically the Coleco keyboard jumped onto the machine itself that turns into a computer with the adapter cart as well to be able to play almost every game you can think of. Pole position you're playing, so you could basically take Atari carts as well, and twin cassette decks. Well worth a look at. Didn't actually have a chat on this one. I only just noticed it as I was going through the gallery of pictures, so I'd be interested, whoever's that was, to pick up what it was. Obviously, you've got the Leica, which is a homebrew Coleco Adam, and sneak inside the upgraded Sharps that Here Be Dragons 3 had, Tony. And if you didn't notice in the little bit of video, this is the Galaxy multi-board, which we picked up an advert for one of the Galaxies, is the early one, but this is the one that had, it's an amazing machine, well worth having a chat and look at. And this is a BBC mainboard, along with lots of other parts of a BBC, which actually were inside the Torch. Ironically, it turns out belongs to Sam at this Museum is Not Obsolete, where I originally intended to go and visit. But thanks for showing me around that. That was brilliant. And this display of machines was quite interesting as well, with the keyboards and a new brain nicking out in the edge there. And there's another good view of the positron inside, and of course a Genie 2, which I think we found in the magazines. So there we are. All in all, it was a great day out. So obviously I went Saturday and Sunday, so there was a bit of an overnight stay. And I thought I'd just share with you the place I stayed, because it was lovely. If you're looking for somewhere to stay in Cambridge, it's really pleasant. Called Madinley Hall. So anyway, I didn't realise I was filming as I got out of the car then. But here's some cracking shots of the place, which I think you'll find, it was just lovely. It's one of those places booked through booking.com. It was Cambridge University. Breakfast was served in the dining hall. Beautiful grounds. I have to say that was really nice. You just couldn't fault them really. And just nice little seating area outside. I managed to take a little beer, enjoying the pleasant music that was playing. Then got a taxi down into town, past the grounds and the church, and ended up with a couple of nice beers in the Devonshire Arms. For those who've not been there, lovely little pub. Nice burger and chips as usual while I waited for the guys to arrive. We did a lot of geeking out. I mean, here's is me being shown the main collection of ROMs, which is huge. So looking at the MK14 one, and of course seeing that positron booted. And we all had a group photograph, of course, and it was just a brilliant place to stay. I would thoroughly recommend anybody who's looking to go there. I also actually then went round the real museum and did things like use their paper tape punch to print my my name, which is actually stored there as binary as well, so Tim Gilbert's. So the next episode we'll take a look at a little tour around the museum itself, which I had to go both on the day and then on the Sunday when I went back, and we'll perhaps see some other wider things that are well worth taking a visit out. Centre for Computing History in Cambridge is well worth a visit. I'm Tim Gilbert, and this is my channel on retro computing.